Hello everyone, how are you? I am fine, thanks to God. Now today I will present to you C++ programming under chapter 3 part 1 control statements. What is control statement? What are they? What types of control statements are they? As a whole in programming context, control statements, what does it mean? We will see one by one. Go. A flow control statement can case change in the subsequent control of flow to differ from the natural sequence order in which the instructions are listed. By the way, programming language or written source code of any program is executed run line by line unless they are ordered or written some conditional commands to jump or to check the condition or iterate each line. What I mean or what I want to say is that each line of source code, just from this source code, if you see, you have seen, I think it is visible, there is a line number for each source code, line 1, line 2, line 3, and continue up to the end of the source code. Just this is an example. This line is executed next, unless there should be some condition, iteration, or jumping commands ordered based on the language they allow. So there are three categories of these types of unnatural way of executing the source code or the written program file. What are these? The first one is the conditional branching or selection statements. The second one is iteration, looping, repetitive statements. And the third one is jumping statements. We will see one by one in each within a brief explanation and practical examples. Good. So decision making statements or conditional statements are in a C++ program. Conditional statements allow you to make decision based upon the result of the condition that satisfies. These statements are called decision making statement or conditional statements. So far we have seen all that sets of statements in C++ programs executed sequentially, as I told you, sequentially in the order of their line number which they are written and appear. But with an exception, there is some jumping, repetitive, or looping executions. So this occurs when there is no jump-based statements or repetitions of certain calculations. But number of situations may arise where we may have to change the order of execution of statements depending on specific conditions, just as I told you. So this involves a kind of decision making from a set of calculations. It is to be noted that C++ assumes any non-zero or null values are expected or act as a true, and zero or none values treated as a false. So these types of structure require that the programmers indicate several conditions for evaluation with a program. These statements will get executed only if the conditions became true, and optionally alternative statements or set of statements will get executed if the condition becomes false, and the last one maybe default execution may be placed in sometimes. So the flow chart of this decision or decision making conditional statements in C++ is expressed like this. As you see from the diagram, there is a start of execution, line 1, and sequentially go with its line consequence. So after any line the execution gets or reaches, if there is a condition to be checked, expression here as I show you in the chapter 2, condition start, execution, input output operations. In C++, they have their own symbols. So this diamond symbol shows that there is a condition to be satisfied to choose which condition is true and go to the next execution line. So for example, if at this stage or at this line of code, if this line size x module 2 is equals to 2 is equals to 2, it implies the value of x is even. If the condition is true, go to the right way. If this is false, go to the false execution direction or line number and go to a step. If this is true, then execute the next required programs or codes and execute each statement and reaches to the end of the program at this step. When I show you in practical, for example, as you see here, result is equals to this condition. If result modulus 2 is equals to 0, see out the result is even. Else, meaning if the condition is false, go to the end of the program. This is what we call it conditional statements or making decision setting statements. Good. Then in C++, not in C++, as the whole in programming language, whatever, there are three basic structures in programming language. The first one is sequential program execution. Executed sequentially by default like this one. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, up to the end of the program. This is sequential execution of program. Good. Then the next one, selection execution. Program executed depend on a condition being satisfied. As I told you in the previous slide, there is a condition and check this condition. If the condition is satisfied, go to the right way or the next right execution direction or line number. If the execution or the condition is false, it goes to another condition or another statement to execute and finishes the execution or ends the execution at this stage. In both directions, it reaches the end of the execution line or the end of the program, but they execute depend on the condition that satisfied. Good. Then the next one is the loop statement. This type of statement is used, for example, for searching some values from a store or somewhere in the database or any multi-choice, just like if true, do something, if true, do something, like this one. For example, for I is equals to 4, for I is equals to what? 0, comma, I less than 10, comma, I is equals to I plus 2, for example. This types of looping code or program is executed until this condition is false. If this condition is false, automatically the program is out of the brace or out of the loop. So this type of execution of the program is an example of looping program or looping execution. So as you see this, if the condition is here, this means this one, this condition. If I is equal to 0, I less than 10, check every time. Then if true, this types of loop is happened or executed like this way. For example, I 0 less than 10, true loop. I is equal to I plus 2, meaning I is 0 first time, then plus 2, 2. I meaning 2 less than 10, true, again the execution is executed, or the loop is executed. I is equals to I plus 2, 2 plus 2, 4, 4 less than 10, true, again. When I is 11, when I is 11, 11 less than 10, false. Then automatically the condition or the loop is out of the condition or the loop, and the condition is false. It is automatically stop the execution of the program. So this type of execution is an example of loop programming language or programming execution. Good. Then conditional or selection statement. The program can decide which statement to be executed based on the conditions that we have given. So if the condition satisfies the given condition, it goes the next right way execution line or statement. C++ provides several types of selection statements. The first one is one-way if statement. The second one is two-way if-else statement. I will show you each within a practical examples. Then the third one, nested if and multi-way if-else statement. Nested way inside the other. And if satisfied, and if satisfied, and if satisfied, just like to this condition. In Amharic, for an example, አዳራሹ ሰፊ ከሆነ በቂ መምህራን ከመጣ አዳራሹ ሰፊ ከሆነ ወይም ጠባብ ከሆነ ሰብሳቢው ሌላ አዳራሽ እንዲቀየር ከፈለገ አዳራሽ ኤክስ እንዲፈቀድ እንዲህ ከሌ ወይም somebody ይጠየቃል. Just like to that. If this satisfied condition, this type of execution of line program is called multi-nested if, multi-way multi-way if-else statements. And the fourth one is switch statements. Switch means if this is satisfied or checked and true, do this or execute this and break. If this is not true, pass as it is until the default condition is reached. And the next one, conditional expression. Conditional is another example like that. So these all five are examples of selection statements. Select the fulfilled condition of the given condition. For example, enter two operands and choose the operator or arithmetic operator any, and the given operator is from many operators. We know the user gives to the system addition operator, then choose this one or select this operator only and execute the under the brace or the condition that it satisfied. For example, from this program, the user enters two operands, two integer numbers, and as you see, this is a switch condition. Examples of switch condition source code, simple calculator. For example, there is a condition operator. The user enters the operator and case, the first case one, what ምን ሊሆን ይችላል? የመጀመሪያው case maybe subtraction sign ሊያስገባ ይችላል. So if this condition is satisfied, do this. Result is equals to first operand minus second operand, and if the result is this one, and if result modulus is equals to 0, the result is even, unless or else the result is odd. እንትን ከሆነ እንትን አድርገው ካልሆነ እንትን አድርገው እንደማለት ነገር ነው። በቃ ሌላ ነገር የለውም። ባለ 50 ብር ካርድ ካለ ባለ 50 ብር ግዛልኝ፣ ከሌለ ባለ 100 ቢሆን በቃ ገዝተና ልጅ ከላከን ወደ ሱቅ ወይም የሆነ ሰው ከላከን እናደርጋለን። ወይም እኛ ሱቅ ስንላክ ምን እንላለን? እንትን ከሌለ ምንድነው ማመጣለን እንላለን። ወይም ብስኩት ገዝታ አምጣልኝ ስለው ምን ብስኩት ይሆንልህ ይለኛል። ስዊች ይሄን ነው። ምን ብስኩት ሊሆን ይችላል? ምን ሊሆን ይችላል? ቸኮሌት ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ግሎሪ ሊሆን ይችላል፣ and other ምስራቅ ሊሆን ይችላል ያሉትን የብስኩት ዘሮች እዚህ ጋር በስዊች በኬዝ መልክ አስቀምጣቸዋለሁ ማለት ነው ይሄ ሊሆን ይችላል ይሄ ሊሆን ይችላል ይሄ ሊሆን ይችላል ከዚህ ውጭ ካልሆነ ኢንቫሊድ ነው ለምሳሌ ብስኩት ግዛለኝ በየው ዳቦ ገዝቶልኝ ከመጣ ኢንቫሊድ ነው የምለው ማለት ነው ሶ የመጨረሻው ዲፎልት ምን ይላል ኢንቫሊድ ኦፕሬተር ይላል አይደል መደመር ካልሆነ ማካፈል ካልሆነ ማባዛት ካልሆነ መቀነስ ካልሆነ ከነዚህ ውጭ ወይም የሞጁለስ ካልሆነ ኢንቫሊድ ኦፕሬተር ነው ዩዘሩ ያስገባ በልልኝ እንደማለት ነው ብስኩት ከብስኩቶች ውስጥ ምስራቅ ካልሆነ በዛው ብዙ የብስኩት አይነቶችን ብዙዎችን አላቃቸውም ግሎሪ ካልሆነ እንትን ካልሆነ ምን ሊሆን ይችላል ካለም ላገሱ እንታ ብስኩት አይደለም ስለዚህ ኢንቫሊድ ብስኩት ነው ማለት ነው ኖት ብስኩት እንደማለት ነው ማለት ነው በቀላል አገላለጽ ማለት ነው this is what switch case selection statement or execution program mean in C++. Very nice. So what you should do, you should place each condition based on the problem that you want to solve. I think it is clear. So the syntax for one way statement selection statement is if Boolean expression statement. If you have money, you can enjoy. Yes. So ምን እንላለን ገንዘብ ካለ enjoy ካላለ አታደርግም ግን መኖር አትከለከልም ወይም something ማድረግ አትከለከልም መዝናናት ግን አትችልም እንደማለት ነው if የመጀመሪያው ነው it executes an action if and only if the condition is satisfied ብር ካለ ብቻ ሻያዘ ተጠጣለ ከሌለ ዝም ነው የምትለው ማለት ነው if you have 50 cents or if you have 1 ብር you can order 1 cup of tea and enjoy with it unless you can't this is an example of if or Boolean expression ካላለ ከሌለ የለም ማለት ነው good if I greater than 0 I is positive unless it is not positive እንደማለት ነው this type of expression is one way if selection statement so it applies there is various problems in the world that we should solve using program or software so in order to develop this software based on the problem that we have you should order the program or the source code based on the problem of the phenomena እንግዲህ እንደ ችግሩ ነው እንዴ ለናደርገው ምን ይችላል መጀመሪያ ክራይቴሪዮን ካላሟላ ምንም አይነት መስፈርት ማየት አይጠበቅበትም የሥራ ማስታወቂያ ወጣ ባንክ ወይም ሳምዌር ኤንጂኦ 5 አመት ኤክስፒሪየንስ ያለው ካለ ስለ ጂፒኤው ስለ ሴክስ ሜል ነው ፊሜል ነው ስለ ትምህርት አይነቱ ማየት አይጠበቅበትም already closed if you have 5 years of experience you can apply by any of field or GPA or somewhere something you have some qualification so this types of selection criteria is one way selection I think it is clear for you based on the problem the examples that I have you give you so this is one way if grade greater than or equal to 50 passed unless failed እንደማለት ነገር ነው ማለት good then the next one is you should write an example based on the example that I have given you write the source code and execute by using your IDE and C++ IDE I use code block for my own you can't do any other for example write a program that prompts the user to enter an integer if the number is multiple of 5 display hello 5 and also if the number is divisible by 2 the number is even like that you can write this and execute good then the next one to why if else statements and if else statement decides which statement to execute based on if the condition is satisfied or true or false if Boolean expression statement else do this yes flow chart looks like this one there is a start of execution here then you reach the condition after some lines of source code you reach the condition Boolean expression starts here In simple example, you already use or take a cup of tea from a cafe. Then if you have money, you can pay for that price and go your home. Unless you haven't any money, what you to do? There is another task here. You may call for someone and bring that money to pay for it. One. You may do some tasks to the cafe and go without any payment. The second. The other, maybe you may get some books or and any other shot from the hotel's manager or waiter and go away without pay. ግን እንደዚህ ነው እንችላል። ገንዘብ ካለ ከብለህ ትሄዳለህ። ድንገት እንደገባ ተጠቀምክ የሆነ ነገር ሻይ ወይም ምግብ ተጠቀምክ። ከዛ ልከፍል ስትል ኪስ ውስጥ ብር ካለ ትከፍልና ትሄዳለህ። This is the right path. ከሌለ ምንድን ልታደርግ ትችላለህ? if false, if haven't ምንድን ነው ልታዝም የምትችለው? ምን ልታደርግ የምትችለው? ስራ ሰርተህ ልትሄድ ትችላለህ። ደውለህ የሆነ ሰው አምጥቶልህ ከፍለህ ልትሄድ ትችላለህ። somebody ከፍሎልህ ካልሆነ ጮኸውብህ ወይም ተደብድበህ ነው ልትሄድ የምትችለው ማለት ነው። then ፕሮግራሙ ወይም ያ ፕሮብሌም ያ ሲቹዌሽን ያ ሴናሪዮ ያቆማል። እዚህ ጋር ስቶፕ ይሆናል ማለት ነው። በዚህም መጣ ከዛ ካፌ ትወጣለህ አይደል? መቼም እዛው አትቀርም። just like this is an example of TY if else statement. ካልሆነ ምንድነው ሊሆን የሚችለው? false ከሆነ ምን ይሆናል? just like to that ማለት ነው። this is an example of TY if else statement. Good. Then the next one is this is a short fragment of code about if else statement. If then else. This is an example. Enter the student's grade in grade. If the grade is greater than or equal to 50, see out passed. Else failed. ሌላ ነገር ሊሆን አይችልም። ሊቀጣ አይችልም። ሊታሰር አይችልም ምናምን ነገር 50 በላይ ከሆነ ያልፋል። ከ50 በታች ከሆነ ፌልድ ሆኗል። ስለዚህ ምንድን ሊያደርግ ይችላል? ያሰው አይደናው ይሄ what measure he takes ድጋሜ ሊፈተን ይችላል። ሊተው ሊያቋርጠው ይችላል። አይዶን እንግዲህ ፎርጅ ካልገዛው ተገ ሌላ ምንም አማራጭ የለም ወይ መተውን አማራጭ። good. This is also another example. A number is integer or no. A number is positive integer or not negative positive integer. So it may negative integer or negative positive integer or negative integer unless this line is always printed. Yeah. Okay. Unless ምንም ሊሆን አይችልም። ወይ ኔጌቲቭ ነው ወይ ፖዚቲቭ ነው or maybe 0 ሊሆን ይችላል። እንግዲህ 0 partial positive or negative I don't know which is the border where it is I don't know. It is a number line 0 0 here 1 2 3 ማትስ ለማስተማር አይደለም -1 -2 -3. So the condition is checked here. If the number is right to this or left to this, check and print which one is it. እንግዲህ ግልጽ ይመስለኛል። እንዴት አድርጌ ማትዳት አለብኝ አላቀም። ኮንዲሽኑ ይሄ ነምበር ጊቭን ይሰጣል በዩዘሩ። once the user enters the integer, check it if the number is left to the 0 or right to 0 where and display that information for the user. This is examples of if else statement. Good. I will show you in both combined while switch and if else in one source code or one program. I will show you using simple calculator and simple example. Wait. Okay, good. The second one is the multi-why if else statement. The syntax of the if else is if statement is satisfied and not satisfied. The same narrow difference for each from if 1y, if 2y, if multi-y. statements. For example, if condition 1 satisfied, there is some code blocks here or statements here executed. Else if condition 2, if else some finally else condition this should be executed. This is for example for this style called multi-while if statement avoid deep indentation and make the program easy to read. Okay, you see this multi-while if else flowchart. If condition satisfied, true, go to this if body. False, another nested if is happened here. Nested if condition is here. If maybe there is another nested if. Maybe. If there, you can execute it like this way. Like this way. And finally the program is terminated here. Unless if 2 or 1 true, false, this and this or this. Either true or false, no any other choice. If true, do this. If false, do this. Finally the program terminated here. So this is an example of multi-while if else flowchart or program example. We will see in practical example in lab session. Okay, good. Then the next one is multi-while if else flowchart to assign a grade. For example, as you see here, there is a score. The user enters a score. If the program size enters the score, then the user enters the score, any number or any grade value for a student may have. For example, score greater than or equal to 90. If true, grade is A and the program is automatically terminated. If false, what it maybe million ይችላል 90 ካልሆነ ከ90 በላይ ካልሆነ 90 ከ90 በላይ ካልሆነ it may be less than 80. Under 80 and 80 and under 80, which number value it may millions ይችላል. If 80 exactly the grade is true, it may be B. If false, again it is not in between 80 up to 90, the grade may be under 80. So if under 80, it may be 70 up to 70 or below 70. So the grade is, if true, C. If false, it is below 60. Below 60. So it may be 60, 61, no, 62, 61, 69 ድረስ ሊሄድ ይችላል። 69 less than 70 true billion. No, under 59 up to 50. If the grade is less than this, grade is D. If false, grade ከ60 እስከ ስንት ከሆነ ከ70 ከ60 እስከ 69 ከሆነ ግሬዱ ዲ ሊሆን ነው ማለት ነው። if 59 the grade is F. That means if this is less than 59 greater than or equal to 60, false. Yes, so it is automatically out of the loop and printed as the grade is F. Yes, it may be from 90 including 90 comma 91 comma up to 100 maybe, and this is maybe including 80 comma 80 81 comma blah 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 89 point something like this, and also this one 70 comma 71 comma up to 79. Like this. This is an example of multi-way if-else program or problem-like style problems. Good. As you see here in program example, int main integrate cout. This is the source code. If you run this and enter any number from below 100, or maybe the true logical value of the grade of somebody course, you get either of this grade, either this one, either this one, either this one, either this one, or finally this one. A B C D ካልሆነ F ነው ሊያገኝ የሚችለው ከ60 በታች ከሆነ ማለት ነው። This is the source code. If you run this, you can see the problem how it is solved. Okay, good. The second one is nested if statement. If condition one statement to do this. In a statement condition may be satisfied also here. For example, if there is a cafe around here, then if they're true, good. Then again another condition. If we have enough money, if maybe the price of each food is high, if you have enough money, you can eat that food. Unless no, both of the conditions false, no any thing is done. So the program terminates step by step each line based on the condition that it satisfies. Good. Then the syntax looks like this, and if the example is this: if I greater than k, the first condition, so if satisfied, enter the inner loop, and if j greater than k, another the second condition, cout I and j are greater than k. Else, if this is false, the program did not enter to this part. It is automatically this loop and print this one. Else what? I is less than or equal to k. I less than ማለት ነው። I ያንሳል ማለት ነው። Yes, this like types of statement is nested if statements. There are also nested if statements based on the problem that you have. እንትን ካለ እና እንትን ካለ እና እንትን ካለ እና እንትን ካለ do this like do that. የኢትዮጵያ ንግድ ባንክ ደንበኛ ከሆንክ ይሄን ያክል ገንዘብ ካለ ይሄን ያክል እንትን ትኬት ቆርጠህ ከሆነ እንደዚህ አይነት ሽልማት ሳጥን እንትን ብሎ ከሆነ ይሄን እንትን ይደርሳል። መጀመሪያውን የመጀመሪያው አውተር ሉፑ የኢትዮጵያ ንግድ ባንክ ደንበኛ ካልሆንክ ምንም አይነት ኤክስኪዩሽን አይካሄድ ማለት ነው። out of the loop ይሆናል automatically ማለት ነው። Then the final is you are not the member of the Commercial Bank of Ethiopia. This display you have. So based on the problem that you have, you can do any of the decisions that you have, information that you have passed to the next execution line or statement of the program. Good. Then the next one is nested if in flowchart form. That as I told you, the first condition here, if this satisfied, if the condition true, go to this, and if this condition also satisfied, go to this. If false, do this and terminate the program, or the rest of the code may be implemented. For example, false ከሆነ ምን ማድረግ member ለመሆን ለንግድ ባንክ what you should to do? ፎቶ ማይዘ የተወሰነ መክፈቻ በር ይዘደ አባል መሆን ትችላለህ። ከዛ በኋላ ቀጣይ እጣዎችን ወይም እድሎችን መመከት ትችላለህ እንደማለት ነው ማለት ነው። This looks like what nested if flowchart diagram looks like. Good. Then the next one is the sample code. int main enter an integer. Okay, enter the user. If number not equal to 0, the first condition. If number modulus to 0, the second condition. This is the first, this is the second. Cout the number is even. Else cout the number is odd. Then the outer else condition may not be satisfied. The first condition if false, if the number is not equal to 0. If equal to 0, automatically this is out of this, and the number is 0 and it is neither even nor odd. Else this line is always printed. It is out of any condition. So this type of program is nested if else statement. Nested if statement. Homework, as a homework, do by giving different value for x and y. You can practice like this. If the value of x changes, what it happened? What if this condition true? If this is false? If this is false? If this is true? What it happened? You can do by your own. This is an example. For information, if the first outer loop or condition is false, it is automatically out of that and executed the outer loop is false condition. So if this is false, this is x and display this one. Good. Then the second one, the switch statement. What is switch statement? Just like this. የሆነ ክፍለ ሀገር ስትሄድ ሙቀት ወይም ቀዝቃዛ ሊሆን ይችላል አካባቢ ወይም እንሳማውን ቢቲው ሊሆን ይችላል ሶ ምን አይነት ልብስ ይዘህ ልትሄድ ትችላለህ ትመርጣለህ ዛለ ሁሉንም ዘህዳ ዛት ልትመርጥ ትችላለህ አይደል እንዴ ግን እዛ በፊት ምን ማድረግ እንዳለብህ እዚህ ጋር እንትን ማለት ትችላለህ ኬዞችን እንትን ማጥናት ትችላለህ ሙቀትም ከሆነ ቀዝቃዛም ካለው ኢምቢቲውንም እንዲሆንልኝ እንዲህ አይነት ልብስ ልልበስ ብለህ ይዘህ ልትሄድ ትችላለህ ማለት ነው. Anyways, we will see one by one with the example what a switch statement or switch case statement looks like or what does mean. The switch statement is multi-selection structure. Have a multi-selection structure, as I will show you how it selects the condition. Performs a different action for different test expression values, less general than nested if-else statement. Integer test expressions only. Test for quality only. Yes, case 1, case 2, case 3, case 4 እንዲሊዮን ይችላል እንዲኮነ ይሄን አድርግ multi selection structure. Switch condition 1 do this much fragment of code, then break. If break keyword is called here, the program is automatically out of this brace and starts this line. The next, if there is some source code next out of this, then if this case or this case value is not satisfied or not true, checks the second case, and if it is not true, checks another case, check and the final default case. If all cases is not true or not satisfied or not match, by the way it is matching, not condition, match this and this match from the given and expected, do this, not general truths based on that the interest that the programmers or the developers want to match. For example, you can do switch condition 1 here, OOP, meaning operator. I show you with the practical example. Look here, there is a switch and the case. Switch case, as the name indicates, switch open brace, case starts here. Enter the first number and second number, result with integer value. Car operator ነው ማስገባው ለኮንዲሽን ሲያውት ሲኢንተር then in operator አስገባው switch operator case. If the operator is given operator or entered operator by the user is this symbol, or you can change by this or number 9, you can subtract the first operand from the first operand by this operand, or you can do by general tools minus sign and the result should be first minus second, first integer minus second integer, general truth by your own choice. The case is based on your interest, the codes that you have put, and do this much execution of line or fragment of code or code blocks is executed if this case is satisfied. If this case is not satisfied, check another case, the next case, this one plus sign. If the operator is plus, do this, and then if this is false or not matched, case, check another case, check if this multiplication sign is entered to the system or the display console. Do this fragment of code this much until break. By the way, this break statement is not necessary. It is, yeah, result is equal to this, the result is this one, like to that. So for example, just I run this source code, I run, good, no problem, no problem with it is source code, building, yeah, building within 0 seconds, yeah. Then when I run it, enter the first number 6, enter the second number 90, enter the operator plus, for example, then enter, the result is 96, the result is even. Have you seen it? Plus sign, where it is the plus sign, the condition is checked, this one. ይሄኛውን አልፎታል as it is. then እዚህ ጋር ሲደርስ ቼክ ያደርጋል የፈርስት ነምበር እና ሰከንድ ነምበር ይደምራል። then ሪዛልቱን ደግሞ ሞጁሎስ 2 ያደርጎ ምን ያደርጋል 96 ነው አይደል? 6 plus 90 96 modulo 2 equals 0 true. then the result is even. then automatically it is out of, when the program execution reaches this break statement, it automatically out of the loop here and returns 0, meaning the program is executed with or terminated without problem. Good. Then the next one is how it works, or what does it mean. It looks like this. This is the flow chart, how it works. A switch expression match or condition. If OOP operator is equals to what? Minus do the statement that under this case. No match, check this. No match, check this. No match, check this. If yes, execute case n and break meaning end the execution. እዛ loop ውጣልኝ እንደማለት ነው፣ አቁም ማለት ነው። then end program. If match again, no match, default case may be executed. You entered invalid operator, you can say. This is what switch statement looks like based on the flow chart. Then switch expression case value 1, statement 1 up to this. You can practice based on the exams that I have show you. Generally, switch case statement have 4 keywords. The first one is the switch keyword. Identifies a start of a switch statement expression in parentheses switch expression, meaning the value that want to match reserved something from memory to memory and checks or matches this value, so given the user that you are entered. Evaluate and its value compared to various alternative cases values within compound statement that follows. The second one is the case. The first one switch, the second one is the case. Identify possible entry points. Case, the possible ways that you have. the problem ምንድን ኬዝ ሊኖር ይችላል የምንለው ማለት ነው። አምቡላንስ ወደ ሆስፒታል ታማሚ ይዛ ስትሄድ ምን ታሞ ሊሆን ይችላል? አደጋ ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ወላዶች ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ኢመርጀንሲ ነገር ሊሆን ይችላል፣ something with identified problem or department እየሄደ ሊሆን ይችላል። so case meaning the problem that you want to match. Good. Then the third one is the break keyword. The break keyword meaning terminate after this, meaning after this line of code terminate and go to the second brace. Start here if there something problem or line of code if they exist. Once enter point established, no further case value done. All statements with the compound statement executed unless break statement is encountered. break ከሌለ ኤክስኪዩት እያደረገ ይሄዳል። break ካለ ግን አውቶማቲካሊ ከዛ ብሬስ ይወጣል ወይም ከዛ ኮንዲሽን ይወጣል ማለት። if omitted all statements in compound statement following entry point include default cases are executed ይላል። good. Then the fourth one is the default keyword. Default meaning if all cases is not matched, then what to do? ይሄ ሆስፒታል አምቡላንስ ስትሄድ የሆነ ሰው ይዛ እየሄደች ነው። ስለዚህ ያ ሰው ካልታመመ በዚህ ህመም ካልታመመ ያ ሰው ምን ነው ጤነኛ ነው እንበለው ሰራተኛ ነው እንበለው። ስለዚህ ዶክተሮች ሜቢ ይዞ እየሄደ ሊሆን ይችላል። ስለዚህ ያን አምቡላንስ ወደ ሆስፒታል የገባው ፔሸንት ሳይሆን ይዞ እየሄደ ያለው ፊዚሻን ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ባለሙያ ሊሆን ይችላል ማለት ነው። ድንገት ቤቱ ነው አስፈልጎ ለሆነ ኦፕሬሽን ያንን ዶክተር ይዛ እየሄደች ሊሆን ይችላል ያቺ አምቡላንስ እንደ ማለት ነው። Have you got the point that I want to transfer? I think ይመስለኛል ክሊር ኬዙ። በአምቡላንስ ወደ ሆስፒታል ይዛል ልትሄድ የምትችለው ፔሸንት እና ፔሸንት ብቻ ነው። ያ ፔሸንት ወላድ ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ኢመርጀንሲ ሊሆን ይችላል፣ ትራፊክ አደጋ ደርሶበት ሳምቲንግ የሆነ መኪና አደጋ ምናምን ነገር እንደዛ ነገር ሊሆን ይችላል። ካልሆነ ዲፎልቱ ያቺ አምቡላንስ ይዛ እየሄደች ያለችው ዶክተሮችን ሊሆን ይችላል ሜቢ or ባዶዋንም ሊሆን ይችላል። ስለዚህ ዲፎልቱ እንደዚህ ብላ አውጣልኝ ብለን based on the programmers or the source code developers the switch statement is developed like that. Good. Simple calculator as I show you for operator ብያሳያችሁ ነው። plus minus multiplication division or default unknown operator. This is an example that I show you. This is the first case may be minus, the second case may be addition, the third case may be division, multiplication, the fourth case may be division, and else the final may be modulus operator, unless the default keyword default invalid operator በላይ አውጣለኝ እንደ ማለት ነው። For example, when I run this one, enter the first number 5, enter the second number 5, enter the operator maybe m invalid operator ምንም ሊያደርገው አይችልም። ሁሉንም መደመርም አልሆነም ማይነስም አልሆነም ማባዛት ማካፈል ሞጁለስም አልሆነም። ስለዚህ ኢንቫሊድ ኦፕሬተር ያደርገዋል ከነዚህ ከተሰጡት ማቾች ካንዱም ጋር ማች ስላላደረገ ማለት ነው። never it matches from the given alternatives. Good. Then the next one is another example switch statement is for grade. A switch grade. Car grade is equal to B. A switch grade. Case A, excellent. Case B, very good. Your grade is B because grade is declared like this. If the grade value is not given and entered by the user, it checks when until it matches to the given or the entered value. If it doesn't match the entered value, the default operator or the default keyword, the last line is invalid grade. For example, enter grade B. If the user enters 100, then the program displays invalid grade because it expects character value. Character meaning B, A, C, D, E, just like common grades. If the operator is the grade is not valid, it displays the last default value. If it didn't match this one, unless it is invalid grade. Good. Then the last one, the next one is here is an example for months. That suppose we want to print the number of days in the nth month of the year ranking n as input. Here is the program which using a fail through source. For example, in months, switch months. Case 1, case 2, case 7, 8, 10, 12 months. So sales this month has 31 days. Break. Case 2, February, sales this month has this. Like that. Matches given of value with the previous declared value or general value. Good. And the next one is the remainder of or the whole part, core part. I will post on the description of this video. By the way, please share, like, subscribe this video. And this is also another example for checking the vowel of the English alphabet. Switch character. Case A, E, I, O, U. That means if character is equal to A or E or I or O or U, shout, vowel, break, and terminate the program. Case 2, if space, shout space, break, default program, the remaining is consonant. Vowel ካልሆነ space ካልሆነ ምንድነው ማለት ነው? consonant character ናቸው ማለት ነው። Good. Then the next one, nested switch statement, like to that of nested if statement having multiple matching. If the first matches and the second condition matches, do this. Like to that. This is what you have nested switch statement means. Say out switch B, case this, and display this one. Then the next one is the conditional expression. The conditional expression evaluates an expression based on the condition. Boolean expression 1 colon expression 2. For example, if the following statement assigns 1 to y and x if greater than 0, and -1 to y if x is less than or equal to 0. So if x greater than 0, y is equals to 1, else y is equals to 1. So is equivalent y equal to x greater than 0, 1, else -1. This is the same conditional expression. We can do each with example in practical session, and you might want to assign a variable to value that is restricted by certain conditions. Example, int max a greater than b, a b. This types of Boolean expression is also the same, and you have to do this as a quiz or practice by yourself. And this also an example you can do by yourself as an example or exercise based on yourself. And this is all about the first part of chapter 3, looping or conditional control statements. So please like, share, subscribe my video. Thank you.